This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, Sahan.
Hi, ma'am. Morning.
Good morning. What's your time now, Sahan? Currently, it's 8 a.m.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. As usual, I'll give 1 more minute for the other person to join.
Okay.
If not, I'll start. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. I guess someone joined. Yeah, Srikanth Reddy.
Yes. Hi, Shrikant.
Hi, Isha.
Okay. Hi, Shrikant. I'm Selvi, your instructor.
Oh, okay.
Which time zone you are in, Shrikant? What's the current time?
I'm in EST.
11
11.
a.m.
Yes.
Okay. So just I'll give a recap, Shrikant. You have a recording. You can also see it for yesterday's session. In yesterday's session, I was covering what is Java, what are the unique feature of Java, why we are going for Java, and what are different types of additions available in Java, and downloading IntelliJ. That is the editor we are going to use as part of this training program, and downloading JDK. Java. So these are the overall content we have covered, and we were in the mid of the anatomy of the Java program. So we'll be continuing that today. Is it okay? Do you have any
Yep.
query?
Okay.
You can go through the recording also. If you have any doubt, you can ask me.
Yeah, sure.
So I'll do a recap. Shikan, can you please introduce yourself? I want to know your background and expectation as part of this training class.
Okay. So myself, Srikanth, I've been I have around 5+ years of experience in the software field, doing like testing and sometimes Java as well. But still, I'm not that much perfect to do coding as well. Some other important concepts in Java. So that was the main motto. Currently, I'm looking for Java side jobs, development, and
Okay. So you said like you were in testing, right? Is it like automation using Selenium?
no. It's a manual testing in most around 2 years I worked there. So I did a couple of Java projects as well back end. But still I'm struggling to understand the code level and those concepts, so that I have to be more in understanding of the codes and requirements and,
Okay.
these microservices as well.
Okay, got it. So my correct me if I'm wrong. So you know the basic of programming language, and you know Java to an extent, maybe basics of Java, and you want to upskill yourself. Is my
Yeah,
understanding correct? Okay,
yeah.
fine.
I miss those basic concepts sometimes. I think I didn't practice well, I think so. Yeah, so that's why I have to start from beginning again.
Sure, good. So this was the program which we have created yesterday. Um, uh, Hello World program. As usual, every programming language we used to write our very first program with the welcome message of hello world. So we have executed that, and I'll be touch upon the same thing like what and all we have taught yesterday. Here and there I'll be touch upon so that it will be easy for you. The recording also you can correlate and see. So yesterday I was telling about the anatomy of a Java program. For a Java program, you can mainly see these things. The very first thing is the package, and second is a class, and third is your method, and you will have something called comments. So comments can be done in two ways. One, first of all, what is comment? So you are doing coding for a file that has like 10,000 lines and it has like 10, 15 methods. Over a period of time, it will become clumsy and you forgot like what for I have added this particular method. What is the use of this method? So as a developer, it's a good practice to have some comments about the newly added lines or the methods in a particular file. Say for example, you are doing one calculator project, and in the calculator project you have so many methods or functionality of a calculator. It includes the basic arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So all these four functionality has different tasks to do. So you will create four different methods. Shrikant, do you know what is method?
Yeah, like main method or just like
Generally method, you have some idea, right? What is method? A function or a method?
uh,
Okay, it's a block inside the class, which will be used to do write set of codes, a block of codes to execute or complete a task. Okay, if you're assigned with a task like book a ticket, then booking a ticket have n number of steps. So for every step, you will write the programming language and you will create a method. Like you will group all those steps related to the particular task, and that we call it as the methods. If you have, generally we call it as functions because it's doing a function. If it is inside a class, then we call it as methods. If it is outside the class, we generally make it as like functions. Okay, so coming back to our discussion like comments. When you're adding a method, so it's good to have the comments. We'll take the example of the additions, right? So you have to write few lines about the method which you're adding. Okay, so I'm making, this is the access modifier. Sahan, we have discussed this, right? Like publicly accessible. So there is no restriction to that. And I'm giving you a method name. So add, okay. So
Okay.
the return type is integer and it has some arguments. So this also I will tell what is argument. So, okay, so this is how I had it. So if you make any mistake, that's why we are going for the editor.
There's an extra braces, I guess. Extra
It's not
bracket.
except, no, it's written statement. I have
Okay, okay.
specifically,
Yeah, yeah.
okay,
There's no written statement, that's
the
why I was.
dummy
Okay, ma'am.
method. If I return something, at least if I put return 0, the error will go. Okay, so basically, what we will be doing here is just for our understanding. I'm adding this. So it's better to add comments if you have something like this. The double slashes, it's a single line comment. If you add like this, you, this particular line won't be compiled and won't be executed. It is not your programming language. It's just a comment for the developers or the users to read and understand. So I'm adding a comment here stating that this anything, any free text, this method is to add numbers. Okay, so I added a comment here. This is single line comment. When I execute this particular program, this line won't get executed. So this is for our reference. It's like you add some notes in your regular thing for you have your textbook, and in your textbook here and there you're making some notes, right? Similarly here you're making the notes. And so if you have more number of similar methods, see, we will be discussing about polymorphism and all, like same method names you will be using multiple times, that times it will be confusing. So only the number of arguments will vary, but same method names would be there. In those criteria, it's good practice to have some comments added against each and every method, so that you can understand that in later phases. After 6 months or 1 year, if you itself come and see, you may not remember everything. So if you have this code and everything in repository, so whenever you want it, you can open and you can see why it is there, what is the use of it, what is the business requirement. So everything you can see. And this is single line. The next thing is commenting multiple things. So you can either add a comment like this. This is not only for adding the relevant information. This is also used to remove your code from execution. So previously, if you see, I have 2 lines of print statement and I've commented this. I'll run and execute. Let me run this program. No, I didn't have it. If you look at this, I have added 2 print statements. One is welcome, another one is hi. And now I'm commenting one of the line, and again I'm executing this. It's like I'm running this particular class. So now you can see only the welcome message. So if you want to comment a particular line, single line, you can use a double slash. You can see here what I have done. Say for example, I want to comment these 3 lines. Complete method itself. If I want to comment, I can either do like this, commenting that method, like single line comment also I can do, or if you have hundreds of such lines needs to be commented, then we will go for the multi-line comment. Okay, so you will be doing like this. So multi-line, it starts from here, and if I put like this, it's the indication that that is the end of the multi-line comment. And in the IntelliJ, there is a shortcut. You have to select the line, then Control Shift Slash. If you do like this, it will comment the particular method or how many lines, 10 lines, 15 or 100 lines, you can comment it. So this is
Control
also
Shift
a
plus,
part of
ma'am.
a Control Shift Slash. In question mark in your keyboard, just below the question mark, there is one
Okay,
slash,
slash.
right?
Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Control Shift Slash. If you want to remove the comment, again the same thing you have to follow. Control Shift Slash. It's to comment and uncomment. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, yeah.
And next thing is like again one of the feature in the editor, like you can execute the code using the run button. So either from here you can run or from here you can run, and the shortcuts are there, so that also you can use. Um, this is the terminal, the other way to compile and execute your code. So I will be telling the comments for that also. So this is the path. So if you look at this, I have my source folder and out folder. So in source folder, I have my package path. Okay. If you look at this is the file created by me and it was modified at this time. So you can see the complete information about the main.java file, and this has only the source file. So you know, right, the source file has the extension of .java. Once I compile it, that also I will show you. So here you can see one out folder. So this is my package path. com.company is a package I have provided here. So it has created a folder accordingly. So if you see, this is the main class generator. Now what I'm doing is I'm removing this file. So if you look at this particular folder is empty. No data in this folder. It's completely empty. Okay. So I'm going back again, and so this is the source code. So what I'm doing here is, sorry,
Nothing,
did you
ma'am.
say something?
No.
Did anyone? Okay. So if you see, two phases are there. When you do the run button, when you click on the run button, it will do two activities. One is compilation. Compilation is nothing but converting your .java file to .class file. This we have discussed yesterday also, Sahan, that JVM and JRE activities and all you have discussed, right? So here, once you do this Java C main.java, you will have your class file created. So if you look at this, I have compiled the code. There is no error. If there are error, you can see here itself. You will get the error message. Some line is missing and some syntax is missing. So you will get that error message. This is simple method with only the print statement. So you can't see any error. You didn't get any error now. So now I'm going back to the out file. So okay. So now you can see a class file created after the compilation in this path. Okay, this is just class
Yes,
file.
ma'am.
So what we are doing is we are executing this, could not find or load main class caused by class not found exception. Java com/. 8. I have to set the class path.
Ma'am, I guess that's not a problem. We can do it from VS Code and command prompt too, right? Continue with the class, I guess.
Sorry, I was talking in mute.
Okay, I
Go
thought
ahead.
I have speaker issues. That's what. Okay.
No. So for your training purpose, I have cleaned some of my old data. So I've cleaned the class path setting also. So variable setting also. So it is missing. So ultimately,
Okay,
this is the
ma'am.
command. Okay, Java C and main dot Java. If you do, it will compile it. And next thing is when you do Java main dot class, it means that it will run and it will show you a result like this. Okay, so that is how
Yeah.
we
Okay,
do.
ma'am. Even in
Okay.
Linux operating system, we'll just use this commands, right? Directly in the command prompt.
Yes,
Okay. Yeah.
in terminal you can use it. In this terminal, you can use all this Linux commands, all these commands. You would have seen,
Yes,
right? I
ma'am.
was using. Right? But when you go to the command prompt, Windows things you have to use. Here it will
Okay,
be
ma'am.
your requirement for Linux. Okay. And coming back to our compilation we have done and anatomy I have discussed. And next is naming convention. So even before jumping into our regular discussions, so 4 things, maybe. Okay, I'll cover all 6. Currently, we are dealing with package, class, and variables, and what else? Interfaces. Interface, I'll tell you. Yesterday's class I didn't cover. When we get that OOPS concept, I'll be covering that. Interfaces, constant, and what else we can cover? Methods. Okay. So for these are the main things we'll be using as part of our regular usage. Okay. So let me tell what is naming convention. So today I'm covering all the best practices only. So once you start the development from the scratch, like for always we tell, right? If you tell at the day one, you will follow the same thing. If you are practiced with one version, then it's really hard for you to come back to the correct version. So that's why I'm telling these things in the first initial sessions itself. So naming convention is nothing but these are the best practices recommended by some of the community to name your interfaces, your packages, classes, methods, and all. It is not rule. That's why they call it as the naming convention. It is good if you follow that like that. Otherwise, it will create challenges in understanding and errors and all. You will get it when you follow different person follows different things. And I have touched upon few of the things in yesterday's session also, Shahan, like how to name a variable and all. Instead of giving a single letter, you can go for a meaningful word kind of thing. So coming to the package. So the naming convention, again, it is not the rule, it is the convention or the good practices needs to be followed. So the packages should start with or should be in lowercase, the package names. So when you see at the top, we have defined our package, right? So if you look at this, the package or names are all in lowercase. Okay. And if you have multiple words, like you have this com, right? Com.company or com.training we have provided. In that case, you have to use the dot to separate the words like this. Okay. And next thing is classes. For classes, it's good practice to use uppercase. Okay. And again, it will start. It's not like everything in uppercase. The first letter should be in uppercase like this. And it's always good to use nouns for class names like company, organization. So those things you can give for classes. For interface, it is almost the same with only one change. So for interface again, you will be using the uppercase, but instead of noun, you have to use adjectives. Okay, something called runnable. You can give names like this, printable. So you can give. Okay, so next thing is I'll tell you. So you can give for package. I told com.company. Okay, and delimiter semicolon. You will see everything in error because for instead of notepad I'm typing here, so this is not the correct thing, so you can see error. I'll be removing that at the end of your discussion. Okay, and for class you will be adding something like public class employee, and you have your code here. Okay, this is for class, so it should be noun and it should start with some uppercase. And next is your interface. So again for interface you will use, see, these are all the identifier, a type, it's a class. The company is a type of a class. So again, this company, it's a package. Again, we are defining one interface called runnable. Okay, so here this is my identifier. So runnable is the interface. And next thing is variables. So variables, again, this one will be using throughout our program everywhere. So it is good to understand what are the naming convention we can follow. So it will always start with lowercase, something like this. Uh, so I'm initializing a variable int employee. Okay, for employee I'm using the short forms m. Some numbers. Okay, so it should be in lowercase. And if you have more than one word, say employee ID, employee name, then you can use like this. The next word should be the uppercase. You can use like this. And the very important thing is you should not start the variable name with special characters like these are special characters you are not supposed to use, dollar, ampersand, and underscore to start with. Okay, you should not start one employee ID like this. That is not recommended. Okay, see, you can see the errors. Rename usage of employee ID. Can you see? Immediately your ID is recommending this is not the correct way. And next thing is methods. Again, methods will be using like your variable. Method names are also lowercase, but it should be like a verb, like a print, main. So those things we'll be using. So we'll come back to, so if you look at this, I've added a method here, right? So what I've added a method with some verb, like I'm doing an addition here. So it is in lowercase. If I have to add something called addition of age, then the next letter should start like this, addition of. Okay, if you see the O is on uppercase and the A is on uppercase. So if you have multiple words, if you're planning to use multiple words as your method name, then you can go like this for the methods. And final thing is constant. So constants, you know what is constant, right? You can't change the value. So if you have assigned something called 10 or 20, then throughout that program, it will be constant. That real verbal meaning itself, it's applicable here. So how we have to define constant is um, in uppercase, like maximum length equal to 20. So if you look at this, I'm using upper cases for constant, and if you have more than one word, For packages, if there are more than one word, you will be using dot. For method, if you are having more than one word, the next word should start with uppercase. Similarly, for variables also, if you have multiple words, then the second word should start with uppercase. But in the case of constant, it's like you will be using an underscore in between them. Okay. Any doubts in this 6 annotations? Naming convention?
No, ma'am.
Sahan, am I again
Uh,
talking in mute? I just confirm. Okay.
yeah, I think it's good.
Shrikant, are you okay?
Yeah, ma'am, for the constant, shouldn't we use
I'm
any
sorry.
kind of data type?
Uh, hello.
Could you please repeat, Shrikant? And
I'm
who has
I'm
asked you?
I'm not catching up
Shrikant?
with that exactly what's going on. So I'm keep mute always.
Tell me where do you want me to explain? I'll repeat it to Shrikant. Okay. So you know what is class methods and all?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So this is just a naming. See, you are a student. Like in student, there is a name for Shrikant, and there is a name as Sahan. And how we are writing the Shrikant and Sahan name usually, the first letter we do practice like that, right? The first letter we will write it in the uppercase, the S in your case. Okay, in your Shrikant name, the first letter Shrikant, as a practice we are doing. It is not mandated that always the first letter of anyone's name should start with uppercase. Practice what we do, Shrikant, S in uppercase, R-I in lowercase. That is how we do, right?
Mm.
So that is a practice, good practice we are following, but it's not mandated. Similarly, in Java development, we follow some naming convention. Okay, so for class, it should be like this. For method, it should be like this. For interface, I will touch upon later. Maybe it's too early for you to discuss about interface. Let's take 4 things for our discussion today. This we have already discussed. Even the constant, we can keep it aside. Okay, if you look at this package, this also I'll remove. So to start your development, you can learn these 4 things now. Package, class, variable, and methods. Why I am insisting on this, right? You will be started writing your own program, so it is good to follow the naming convention, or the I can say that it's not rule, but again it's kind of a rule. It's not mandate. What are the rules to be followed to write a program with some meaningful message, or with correct naming convention? For every terminologies, for every concept, there are some naming convention proposed by the community. It's not by individual developer. The Java community itself has proposed. It is good to follow this pattern. It's a pattern they are reference. Sorry, clear about naming convention, Shrikant? First of all, did you understand what is naming convention?
Yeah.
If you're not clear, you can very well ask me, no problem.
Yeah, it's okay. I
Okay.
understand.
So, okay. Coming back to our question of package. Package, this again, maybe today you can see the video, so you will get an idea what is package. So package is the very first line you will be adding in your code. So it has some standard to be followed. So that's what I'm saying. The package names, how it's look like. It should start with, or it should be in lowercase. We won't be adding package like this. So usually package names, if you come back to this is a package I have added. I won't add like this. You add, immediately you will get some warning or alert stating that this is not the correct thing. Okay, so we always do package names in the lowercase. And if I have more than one word, so com is one word, company is one word, always a package name we start with com dot. Then the second word can be anything. It can be the organization where you are working. For in our case, we can put Isha also. Or so if you're creating an app, like Amazon app you're creating, means you can type Amazon. So the task you are doing, the project you are doing, that we create it as a package. So we'll be giving that name here. The once you give the name, it should follow some pattern. That is, it should be in lowercase. If you have more than one words added, then it should be separated with a dot. This is for package. Then the next level is main. The next level is class. For class, it should start with uppercase. For package, it's lowercase. For class, it's uppercase. And you should use some noun for this. Okay, like company, organization, car. So something like that you can use as a class name. Then the next is methods. Okay. Methods again, it will start with lowercase if I have more than one word. If you look at this and all, we call it as three different words. Age of, add of age, addition of age, something like this. If that is the case, then you can keep it as a single word. The only change you will be doing here is keep some upper cases here, or addition of number, addition number. Is it okay? So now, are you clear? Two words. Let's not go to the three words and the two words. Let's take an example. Addition number. There are two words in the method name. So I am planning to do. It's not like somebody is recommending. You can put like add number also. So if you are doing as a user, as a developer, if you are doing something called addition number, two words, if you want to merge it, then you will start with a lowercase for the first word, and the second word you will start with the uppercase. So this is the convention, naming convention we'll be using for method. And next thing is integer. For integer again, I told you can do like this. It will be lowercase, and if you have more than one word, again the second word starts with the uppercase, and you are not supposed to start your variable declaration with some special characters like dollar, it's not recommended, ampersand, it's not recommended. Got it? Just some recommendation to name a variable or a method. And again, it's good to have your method name with some verb like add, like some task you are doing, right? Method means you are doing some function. Function means click it, submit it. So these are the activities you will be doing. So let's take your manual testing also. You have a web page. In that web page, you have multiple buttons. Submit, select, buy. These are the three buttons are there. These three buttons do different functionality, right? Submit will do different, save will do different, buy will do different functionality. For every functionality, you will be writing a different method. Inside the method, you will have the codes corresponding to each and every button. So in that case, the method name you will be adding like submit. It's an action you are doing. It's a verb. Clear, Shika?
Yeah.
Okay. Sahan, you are asking some doubts related to constant. Sorry. Could you please repeat it?
Yes, ma'am. For the constant declaration, shouldn't we add any kind of data type in the beginning?
Yes, yes.
We
Constant
have
means
to add it,
integer.
right?
Yes, we will use. See, now itself, if
And
you
there's
tell
also a
everything,
keyword called as const, right? CONST. Is it in Java or just in C, C++, and JavaScript?
here also, usually I will add the complete declaration. Okay, this is how you will
Okay.
declare a constant.
So, okay, instead of a const, we will use final over here, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
If it is set as final, that is final. It is not at all changeable throughout your program. Okay, so this
Okay,
is how
ma'am.
we define. And data type we will define. And again, for constant, we have uppercase. We have to follow the uppercase thing. And two things needs to be separated with the underscore.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Any doubts in the naming convention, both of you?
No, ma'am. Everything is clear.
Okay. Shikam?
Yeah, no.
Okay. And next thing is, I don't think we can cover fully today, but I will touch upon this point, and we will continue in tomorrow's class. Okay. Data types. So there are two data types in Java. One is primitive, another is reference data type. Okay. So for primitive data types, so now we are going to learn about primitive data types. Once you are comfortable with the basic things, then we will go to the reference data types. That is, this is simple. I can say these are the simple data types. It's common among all the programming languages almost. Okay. And we will jump on to the reference data type. It's a little bit complex and compared to the simple primitive data types. But once you're comfortable with that, you itself will say that both are okay for me. But to start with, we are going with primitive data types. So primitive data types are regular, like if you are using any arithmetic operations, then these are the data types we'll be following. So there are different blocks in this primitive data types. One is I will go like this instead of showing. First, we will see Boolean. Maybe today we can cover Boolean. The rest of the things we can cover later. So Boolean, this is common among all the programming language. Boolean is nothing but yes or no kind of thing, true or false. So it always return only these two values. If you are declaring a variable, again, there is a variable. So variable concepts, are you guys clear? What is variable?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Shika?
Uh,
Okay, no issues. See, I'm assigned with the task of getting the age of Shrikant, for example. Okay, so age, I'm giving some random number, it's not your exact age. Okay. So age 8. Age is my variable. This is, I'm giving a name to the particular value. So if 8 is your age, then name,
yep.
or so age is a variable, and in this
Yes, ma'am.
case I'll be declaring with the type of the variable. So age is a number. Age is not something as a word, alphabet. It's not alphabet, right? Age means it's a number. If it is number, you can use any of these. Okay, not character actually. Long int, these things and all you can use to set the type of the variable age. It's like a giving a name to a particular thing. You are naming something. Then this name will be used throughout your development, throughout your programming. Similarly, you can see you are creating a sheet of an employee. So employee means what and all they will have. They will have name, they will have ID, they will have department. So these are the three different identification about an employee. So name means what it will have. It will have, again, as you can take a student also. You are a student, so she can't. This is the name of the student, and you have a student ID and say something called 1 2. and you are in some department, computer science department. Okay, so these three are the variables. And what is this name? Name is a alphabet, like string. In Java we call it a string, so we mark it as string name. If it is string, you have to give it within the double quotes. Okay, and next is id. Id is some number, so you can either give a int or you can even give, it's just 12, right? So you can give your byte also here, and we can do. Okay. For integer, you don't need to give any double quotes. For string alone, you will be giving the double quotes and you will be adding it. Okay. And next is the department. Again, it's a string. So I will be adding. Okay. So this is how we do it. So here, this is the variable, the name, ID, department or the variable, the string and int are the type of the variable. What type of data I'm going to save in this particular variable. Are you clear about variable now, Shrikant?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
fine. So, okay, I don't think it's good to start now. We have a few minutes more. I will start the primitive data types from tomorrow onwards. No issues. I want to discuss with you guys.